If you're watching this video, chances are music has been a central part of your life. From early childhood years to going to school, playing sports, going to parties, chilling with friends, almost all of it was backed up by music. And if you're anything like me, you've probably spent countless hours searching, discovering, and listening to new artists. Through YouTube, DatPiff, Limewire, MTV, and radio, we spent an ungodly amount of time immersed in music. Finding a new song or artist you liked was like finding buried treasure. However, in recent years, a lot of people, including myself, feel that that feeling is gone. A lot of music nowadays just feels mid. Not really trash, but not really good either. Just kinda okay. If you look at what's popping on the charts, it seems like music we've all heard before. The same flows, same topics, and same generic trap beats. I know for me, my drive to discover new music seems to go down each year. I've also been spending way more time listening to records I grew up on instead of branching out further. And I know from talking to friends and looking online, lots of other people feel the same way. But how could this happen to the thing that was so central and important to our lives? To find that out, today we're deep diving into why music feels so mid nowadays. What changed to make music feel so dull nowadays? Is it a problem with us as fans, or are artists and music genuinely getting worse? And lastly, is there any chance of this turning back around, or will music permanently feel more dull, boring, and uninspiring? My name is Pancho, the host of Rap Lore, and we're gonna dive into it right now.
Everything sounds the same, 140 BPM.
When I was researching this video, I realized very fast that there's a lot of reasons people feel this way. I wrote out each point but ended up with over 20 different reasons. So I'm gonna group them by the people responsible and the issues that they caused. With that said, the first group of people we're gonna address are the creators themselves. This is the most straightforward answer. Music isn't hitting the same because musicians are dropping the ball. Whether it's from laziness, lack of skill, or inspiration, creatives just aren't getting it done. And there is truth to this, but the full picture is more nuanced. It is true a lot of artists are not pushing boundaries, but they aren't really encouraged to do so. As much as fans think they want to hear something new and fresh, there's a ton of evidence showing that that's not the case. Anything that's too far outside the box of what people expect rap to sound like immediately gets shamed, shunned, and on by the culture. And there's a bunch of examples of this. People like Logic, Hobson, NF, and Joyner Lucas all tried to carve their own lanes in rap and got brutalized for doing it. But by far the biggest example is Dax. People hate this man with a raging passion. Dax's unconventional style, bars, and image has racked up an ungodly amount of hate throughout the years. Just type his name into YouTube and see the types of videos that come up. The corniest rapper alive, Dax. The internet's most hated YouTube rapper, Dax. Worst rappers in the game, Dax. Dax, the king of coworker music, LOL. And even I made a video about it. I'm part of the problem. Whether you agree with the corny label or not, the reality is artists see how these people are treated and think to themselves, I don't want that. Let me just do what's safe so I'm not treated that way. But it's not just fan bullying that turns artists off to being creative. They're also incentivized to not go outside the box. Pretty much every artist wants to make a living off their art. If you ask 100 musicians what their goal is, the majority will be some form of, I want to live off music. In order to do that, people need to rock with your sound. If they don't, you have no chance of making a living, especially in today's economy. So in a lot of artists' eyes, the way to achieve their goal is to not be creative. It's to follow formulas that are proven to work, remove the risk of uncertainty, and do something that's safe, that's worked before. It's an uninspired way of creating that so many artists fall into because of the huge stress and pressure there is to make money. And it's not just the artists, producers are just as guilty. Producers are also trying to make a living off their beats, and in order to do that, they have to make sounds artists will rock with. When a trend pops off, producers worldwide drop whatever they're doing and pour all their energy into that sound with hopes of landing a big record. That's how the whole type beat movement started on YouTube. If you don't know what a type beat is, it's basically a beat purposely made in the style of another artist or genre. It's then labeled as Drake type beat, or trap type beat, or Metro Boomin type beat for marketing reasons. This can get them some placements and beat sales, but it adds to the ocean of sameness and mediocrity that exists in music. This is a big deal, and it's honestly not talked about enough. The only person who really acknowledged it was Russ. Back in 2017, Russ went viral after he called out producers for these habits on Vlad TV.
People think that like you blame the rappers for the state of hip hop. Rappers are not making the music. You gotta blame the producers. Producers are making whack shit. If all I do is rap, I'm a vocalist, and a producer sends me a pack of 20 beats and they're all whack and they all sound the same, I'm just fucked. I gotta pick the best of the worst.
Now, the producer community came at his neck for this. Metro Boomin said Russ is whack, and by whack, I mean whack in spirit. Haven't heard any music to come to that conclusion. Carter Got Wings said Russ and those Walt Disney bars he be spitting can get the fuck on. You can tell he still puts pizza rolls in the microwave. London on the Track kept it simple and said f***ing Russ idiot. So on and so forth, you get the point. Despite all the criticism, it's hard to argue what he's saying. If all the canvases look the same, artists only have the option to paint the same picture on it as everyone else. And since that call out, the problem has honestly just gotten worse. Advances in music tech made it so producers aren't just doing the same thing, but they're doing it faster than ever before. Quantized drums, AI generated melodies, drag and drop loops and MIDI packs. It doesn't take much skill at all to make something passable. That also doesn't include any of the straight up AI music that's flooded the market. The streaming service Deezer recently revealed that 75,000 fully AI generated songs are uploaded to the platform daily, making up 44% of their total upload volume. That's a whole other conversation for another time. I have a video on the channel if you want to check that out after this. Regardless, this uninspired way that artists and producers create is a big reason things are so mid. However, that's still just the tip of the iceberg. The next layer is all about social media.
I'm a savage, classy, bougie, ratchet.
Social media really f***ed up a lot of things in the industry. On one hand, it's a blessing because it lets kids from West Bumblefuck, Arkansas make a living off their art. But on the other hand, it creates a slew of problems that rip the soul right out of music. I could do a whole video on just the effects social media had on the industry, but there's two issues that stand out among the rest. The first is the nature of the algorithm. Anyone who makes content knows how ruthless the algorithm can be. If you're not on its side, everything you create will be buried in the noise. However, when you're in it, it rewards you as long as you keep making whatever content you made in order to get on in the first place. The second you deviate from whatever the algorithm liked from you, your reach gets punished. This naturally goes against how artists create. Artists naturally develop over time, develop their sound, taste, and style. These developments is what keeps music interesting. Then when they try to show the world their new growth or new style, algorithms punish them for it. They say, that's not what the people want from you. That destroys the artist's reach, which destroys their opportunity to be heard and make money off their art. Artists know this, so they don't innovate. They don't push boundaries, take chances, or try new things. It's too risky for them and it makes everything stale for us. But that's only one problem. The second big problem is how social media, especially TikTok, murked everybody's attention span. TikTok first launched in 2016 in China, but really popped off in the States in 2019. By COVID time, it became the most popular social media app in the world by downloads and time spent in the app. But if you remember, back in this time, TikTok videos were very short. Most viral videos were between 10 and 20 seconds, and the 3-minute video didn't launch on the platform until 2021. This format was so successful that every other platform launched their own versions of it. Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, etc. TikTok literally retrained our brains to seek out short form content. Anything that dragged out beyond literally 15 seconds was too much for people to watch. Now, as an artist, you want to be where the eyes are at, which for the last 6+ years has been TikTok. So rappers started engineering their whole songs specifically for TikTok. All the effort spent telling stories through lyrics or production went right out the window. It was all about a 10-second catchy hook, or sometimes not even a hook. Sometimes just a bar like, I'm a savage, classy, bougie, ratchet. Other times it wasn't even a bar, it was just a beat with the producer tag, like the whole Renegade challenge. This, for lack of better words, everything up. Artists weren't being rewarded for having great songs, just great 10-second moments within a song. This changed the whole way people made songs, and it hasn't really recovered since then. With that said, we're slowly moving down the why music is mid iceberg. The next big factor has to do with labels.
Trust me, you can sell 10 million albums and be broke if you have greedy people behind you.
Every single problem I listed above is exacerbated by labels. They made everything so much worse. Every time a sound pops off, labels swoop in and sign a bunch of artists that fit that trend. We've seen this happen 1,000 different times. X popped off with his rage sound and labels tried to imitate it. Juice WRLD blew up off his melodic raps and labels signed a bunch of clones. Pop Smoke with drill, Cash Cobain with sexy drill and Jersey Club, etc. Labels follow suit, sign a bunch of copycats, and milk the sound dry. The space then gets gets flooded with mediocre, unoriginal artists, and within a few months, the whole world is sick of it. Despite the fact this cycle's repeated itself a million times, artists still look at it like, yo, so-and-so got signed making this type of music, let me do the same thing so I could get on. And the craziest part is this whole mindset is backwards. The reality is, if you sound like someone else, why would anyone listen to you? They'll just go listen to the original source, not you. But artists keep doing it and labels keep supporting it, and it absolutely kills music. And even crazier than that, rappers don't even need labels nowadays. With all the tools and resources available, artists can 100% put themselves on if they're willing to do the work. That's a convo for a whole other video, but it's worth being mentioned. Anyway, the damage from the labels doesn't stop there. If an artist is lucky enough to get signed after hopping on a trend, the way labels treat them is brutal. In their eyes, you don't have an identity. They don't see you as you, the artist. They see you as the sexy drill rapper, or the opium rapper, or the whatever trend is popping rapper. You exist to fill this space in the market. Once that trend dies out, you don't have much use to the label at all. They just discard you. That's the whole label strategy. Sign a bunch of artists, force them to make trendy songs, knowing most will fail, then cut the losses later. That's why you see reports coming out like this Berkeley article saying 96% of signed artists will never recoup their label advances. Their plan is to sign 100 rappers, find the 4 or so that pop, then dump the other 96. It's really wicked. All of this is terrible for the spirit of music. Labels set it up in a way to be as mechanical and soulless as possible, making everything just sound dry and mid. So labels are the third big reason music isn't hitting anymore. The last one, it might surprise you, but it has to be addressed, and that's the fans.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
That's right, the fans. It's your fault. I'm joking, but I'm also not. At the end of the day, fans dictate what matters in the culture. What we pay attention to grows, and what we ignore dies. Like I said earlier, fans have been saying for a while they want something new and fresh from the industry. At the same time, we're not really rewarding people for giving us the things that we're craving. If you look at the Billboard charts, every rapper who's on there has been on for at least a decade. They're all legacy acts at this point. Drake is a legacy act. Bro is 39 years old and has been making music since the late 2000s. Kendrick is also 39, legacy act. Cole is 41, bro. Ye is fucking 49. These are people that have been running the charts for years. At the time I'm writing this, Drake's Iceman is #1 on the rap charts and Billboard 200 for the 4th week in a row. If we really wanted something different, we would give something else our attention to let it blow up. We wouldn't all be mass streaming Drake. Fans aren't giving artists the drive they need to want to put out great projects. Like, honestly, think about it. When was the last time you sat down with a new artist and listened to their project front to back, all 30 to 60 minutes of music uninterrupted? Have you ever done that in the last year, last 3 years, last 5? Please let me know in the comments. I can't even tell you the last time I did that. But to be fair, I get why fans aren't giving new artists the time of day. Every day there's 100,000 songs uploaded to DSPs, not including the 75,000 AI songs Deezer wrote about before. That is an impossible amount of music to go through. That also doesn't factor in that it's not just new music crowding the space. Artists are competing with every song that dropped today, yesterday, and for the entire history of recorded music. Every song ever recorded and released in the last 100 plus years is fighting for fans' attention. Then mix that with the fact that a lot of artists are trend chasing and making uninspired music. It doesn't really make fans want to explore new sounds, which makes artists not care to make great sounds. It's a cycle that keeps feeding itself. And also, fans are growing up. Most rap fans aren't kids anymore, they're grown. They have jobs, kids, rent, mortgages, pets, responsibilities, all this adult stuff. We don't have time to sift through new artists and music like we did when we were younger. And there's a bunch of different studies to back this up. The exact age where the shift happens varies by source, but for the most part it's around the early 30s when people stop looking for new music. People default to what they're familiar with, even when that default is very average. That's why these legacy acts can put out projects that most people think are mid, like the majority of Drake's 3 new albums, but they still do crazy numbers. People would rather listen to average music from artists they know than spend time searching for something great from someone they don't know. It's kind of fucked up, but to an extent, it's human nature.
I don't know who created it, if it was Future or Migos, but all them sound the same.
The things I listed above are the main reasons music isn't hitting the same, but there are a few wildcard reasons that are worth bringing up. Because of that, I made a quick list of honorable mentions. First is the whole AI music thing. I already mentioned it twice, 75,000 songs daily on DSPs that are fully AI generated. Now, as big as this number is, I don't personally see this as a huge factor because for the most part, people reject AI music. If they're aware the music is AI, most people are turned off. Despite this, it definitely does add to the everything sucks feeling that's starting to surround music. Honorable mention too, cities don't have real identities in the ways they used to. Every city used to have its own sound. Atlanta trap, West Coast G-funk, New York boom bap, Houston chopped and screwed, and if you really want to take it back, Detroit Motown. These were all regional sounds that were homegrown in an area and blew up because the whole city was behind them. Social media connected us with everyone everywhere, giving us influences from all over the place. Because of that, cities aren't rallying behind an artist or a sound the way they used to. The artists don't sound like the city, they often sound like whatever's hot on TikTok at the time. Without that city push, a lot of artists just struggle. And the last honorable mention, a lot of our generation's stars already passed away. A lot of artists who were the faces of new movements died super young. Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, Lil Peep, Mac Miller, Nipsey Hussle, Pop Smoke, and so many more. These are all people that had the potential to solve that music is mid feeling, but they all tragically died before their prime. So music isn't hitting the same, and it's low-key everybody's fault. Creators, labels, tech, fans, we all played a role in it. And to be honest, I really don't think it'll get better, especially on a mainstream level. Not to be pessimistic, but just looking at it objectively, I really don't think it'll improve. Especially if you're watching this and you're in your late 20s, 30s, or older, there's a ton of things working against this improving. At the same time though, it's not all bad. Although all these factors work against mainstream music being great, there's an equal amount of reasons music can be great in the future. Social media completely leveled the playing field. Gatekeepers are completely gone, it's never been easier to collaborate, and artists are exposed to so many different sounds and cultures outside of their home cities that could influence their music. Music definitely isn't the same, but given the landscape and tools that we have now, it could come out the other side better than before. With all that said, that's why music feels so mid nowadays. If you agree or disagree with my points, let me know in the comments. And if you want to watch a video on how AI has been ruining music, I have a video breaking it down here. Check it out.